Hello and welcome to my living room. Today I'll be doing a review of the TGO challenge I did back in May. I'll be going over some of the gear, food, etc. that I took and an overview of the trip in general. So to start with, we'll go through the big three: sleeping bag, sleeper kit, rucksack, tent. So first off, we'll go for my sleeping bag, my quilt. This is the MLD Spirit 28, it weighs about 800 grams. With this, it's supposed to be 0 degrees. It was good. It's a bit, I don't know if I like sleeping bags over quilts or quilts over sleeping bags. I'm not sure yet about which way, but it was alright. It kept me warm. There was a couple of nights where it was really freezing, like we had frost, and I combined this with the X-Bed Simmat 7 and a sleeping bag liner, just to sort of add a little bit extra warmth, and worked very well. The sleeping mat's actually gone because it delaminated on a trip after the TGO, so I've actually replaced that now with a Thermarest X Lite, so you'll see that next time. Next up, the rucksack. Needs no introduction. It's the Osprey Exos 48. I've used this now on the West Highland Way and the TGO, and I've used it on numerous wild camps, etc. It's a fantastic bag. I love it. This is the old version, so this one actually still has the strap pockets and hip pockets. Yeah, I love this bag. It carries the weight really well. I didn't have an issue with weight. My base weight, and my combined weight, shall we say, was about 13-14 kilos, depending on how much food I was carrying at the time. Never had an issue at all. Didn't have any back aches, shoulder aches, anything. This carried everything really, really well. Kept everything dry. I did have a rain cover, and I had the Polycro liner protecting the stuff, but apart from that, everything was fine. You can get lighter ones. Would I replace it? No, I don't think so. I think for distance, this is the perfect bag for me, and I intend to keep using it until it breaks, basically. I'd like a lighter one, but I don't know if it's worth the extra investment in money to get that little bit of extra weight loss, and then you end up with a frameless pack. I don't know. I'll stick with my Exos. It worked well, and it will definitely be coming on my next trip. Oh yeah, can't see me. I remember. Bee-boo. And next up is my tent. It's the Hexpeak V4A. Needs no introduction. This tent was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for the TGO. The only issue is I wish it was lighter. That's the only issue I've got, really. I wish they made the inner a lighter inner, because the inner weighs as much as the outer, and if that was a bit light, it was brilliant. Apart from that, it was brilliant. Enough room, pitched fine, kept me dry. Cat was able to keep me sleeping area perfectly dry all the time, even though we had some really bad weather. It's got room to get changed in. If it was raining one day heavily, you get in the tent, you put it up, get everything in. You're soaking wet. You get in your tent. You've got room to take your wet stuff off, put your dry clothes on, and then get into your sleep area. It's the perfect tent as far as I'm concerned. For under £200, it can't be beaten. It really can't be beaten, and I can't keep praising this tent enough. You know, I bought this tent as my first tent, and I've tried other tents, and apart from the weight, and I'm talking about the weight and a lighter tent, but it weighs mine weighs 1.5 kilos with all the pegs and the bits and bobs. Excuse me. Which I think isn't too shabby, but I think for the next year's TGO, probably going to go lighter. I'm probably going to get a tarp tent notch or something like that to sort of actually, because that's half the weight of this. The tarp notch is 780 grams, 800 grams, so it's half the weight of this. So yeah, but if I don't get a tarp tent notch, then I'll take the Hexpeak, and I won't be sorry that I will. It's a brilliant tent. I can't rate it enough. And if you are, I'm going to keep saying this every time anyone asks on Facebook or whatever, ooh, what tent should I get? Get a Hex Fig. It can't be beaten. It really can't. So, yeah. Next, we'll go on to the cook set. I'll put a link to the video below, but there was a video where I outlined the cook set I was going to take, which was based around the Trangia Mini. It worked really well. Really well. It allowed me to cook all the food I wanted. I'll go into the food I took in a minute. It allowed me to buy food and fry food, so I was able to buy sort of sausages and bacon. And I know it sounds like silly sort of frying up, but it's, you know, it beats the porridge in the morning. It really did, and it gave you something to look forward to. All the food, right? When I did the West Highland Way, I took pouches and just boiled water, and I really didn't like the food. I don't like pouch foods. I just found them either bland or too salty or just horrible. Do you know what I mean? They didn't rehydrate properly, and at the end of the day, you know, after you've been hiking all day, you want something. You want food to look forward to. To me, that's really important, to have a good meal at the end of the day, something to wind down, relax, and give you a good feed. You know what I mean? To me, it's really important. And so when I did the TGO, I changed, you know, from that to prepping my own food and, you know, taking a proper cook set. Heavy, yes, it was a lot heavier. You know, my cook set was up to about 500 grams, something like that. But it worked for me. It worked really well. I was able to prep all the food I wanted. If I wanted eggs and sausage in the morning, I could cook it. If I wanted to do porridge, I could do that. If I wanted to do a proper cooked meal at the end of the day, I'd do that. If I wanted to get some chips from the chip shop and buy some sausages, fry them up, have sausage and chips. I know it sounds silly, but it gave you something to look forward to. Oh, I get some nice sausages from the butchers. Oh, I can get some chips. It worked. So much so that I've actually built upon it. The only issue I had was that this pot that comes with the Trangia Mini is 800 grams, and it was a bit too small sometimes. When you're doing like a big pot of soup, or, you know, a big curry or something with pasta, or whatever, it's just a little bit too small. And it was also, although it was, you know, okay, I managed to keep it clean, porridge and stuff, it just stuck to it, and it was just a pain to clean. So I bought a 1 litre non-stick Trangia pot, tenner, that's all they cost. And as you can see, sort of like this, the frying pan, that clips on there like that, and that fits like that. So, whereas in the cook set, if you go back and look at the video, you'll see I took a blue plastic bowl, food bowl with me. I like having an extra bowl to mix things, or, you know, to put something in while you're cooking something, so I could sort of like pre-soak my rice in a bowl and then cook in this and But so now I've got 2 bowls. Actually, there's one thing I did need, was 2 bowls to cook with. So yeah, and it's only weighs an extra 35 grams over what I had before. So now I have an 800ml pot, frying pan, and a 1 litre pot that's non-stick, and it weighs 220 grams. That's brilliant as far as I'm concerned, just for this. You've got to add other bits, like, I'll come to this actually, the AppKit Coolro remote stove. Brilliant stove. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, it's not not the lightest stove, but because it was ground, because it's a remote stove, so it doesn't sit on the, you know, it's not sat on top of a canister, I found it to be a lot easier to keep the wind off. As you can see, little legs come out and it was easy to keep wind shielded. It was easy to stir stuff, and you know, when it's stuck on a canister, pots can fall off and stuff. I just found this really good. Also, the simmer on this stove is amazing, absolutely amazing. I could get this stove really low, so I could just simmer stuff, really, you know, cooking some pasta or something, just simmer away. And the gas I used was, I went through a whole 220 gram can. Is that what they weigh? Yeah, the bigger sort of, you know, the 230, 220 gram cans. I used a whole one of them, and I bought another one, and I used some of that. Again, I was cooking everything, you know what I mean? I was cooking all sorts, and loads of brews, and cups of tea, and coffee, and soups, and frying things, and you know, I was cooking. I made 4 bacon rolls one morning. Do you know what I mean? This was on for half an hour, solid. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to conserve fuel. I just didn't care. I was just whatever. And I actually found it surprisingly fuel efficient. So yeah, so this now pretty much is my go-to cook set. I've added a few other bits and bobs. So there's the windshield. I've changed the handle. That was the only thing that didn't work. I took the Trangia Mini handle. It didn't as grip as well as I liked. So it worked. It was fine. So now I've just taken this one. Slightly over it again, but it's, you know what I mean, it's perfect. And I love it. I love it. I've got a cozy. I've got to make a new one. It got eaten by a fox. Long story. But yeah, this now will be my go-to cook set. Not the heaviest in the world, but not the lightest. It worked for me, and it really, really was good. Food-wise, I packaged my own food. I did all sorts. These ones I've packed for another trip. This is a lentil soup with its components. So all the dried goods are in there. So you've got lentils and beans and all the rest of it. That gets pre-soaked when you get to camp. So you get to camp, set your stuff up, stick it in the transient pot, put the lid on it with some water, and leave it for an hour. I don't like eating straight away. I always eat later in the evening. So, and this is the tomato powder and spices. So once that's soaked and you put that on to boil up, you add that. Job's good. You've got a decent lentil soup. But all of my meals on the TGO, main meals weighed about between 200 and 250 grams. The lunches and breakfasts weighed 150 grams. That's pretty much what I kept it at. So breakfast was things like sauce mix and powdered egg. I'd take porridge. I'd buy some bacon or sausage from the shop and buy some rolls, lawn sausage and rolls. Oh, lovely breakfast in the morning. Lunches, I was doing like egg noodles, and I was making my own sort of ramen noodles. I'd take some coconut milk and a stock cube or some curry paste, and that'd make a nice warm lunch. Or I'd have some bread, or buy some cheese or crackers or whatever. Meals were, yeah, like mac and cheese, but I was making it properly with Parmesan cheese and all the rest of it. And I really, really look forward to meeting in the evening. I didn't have a meal I didn't like. Yeah, some of it took me an hour or two to cook. Didn't care at all. It was something to do at the end of the day. You sort of pitch your tent, you're sitting in your tent, even when it's raining, sit there, cook up a really nice meal, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed all the food I took, and this will be what I'll be doing again. The only issue is having to resupply. Luckily on the TGO you were able to sort of post to campsites and etc. But it does force you into the campsites or a hotel or a hostel or something to pick up, you know, your resupply. So yeah, how it would work if you can't do that. So you've got to buy on the way. I don't know. But the thing is, with this sort of pot, it doesn't matter what you buy. It doesn't matter what sort of food you've got to prepare. This lets you do what you want to do. You know, want to make up a stew or something? You can. It's, yeah, I can't rate. This was the highlight. This was the, what's the word? The star of the show for the TGO for me. Was my cook set, was the food I took. It was brilliant. Every day I look forward to my food. It was brilliant. Now we're going to get onto clothing and stuff. I'm not going to go into every bit of clothing because it was generic really, most of it. It was a pair of Montane Terra pants and some base layers and some underwear. I didn't have, like, you know, named stuff, so I'm not really going to go into all that. So, but what I'm going to go into is the waterproofs that I took for the TGO. I didn't know what the weather was going to be. I knew sort of Scotland it's going to rain at some point, but I didn't know how cold or whatever. So I was going to take my Paramo Bento that I took on the West Highland Way, but I felt that might have been a bit too hot or not as useful, shall I say. So I ended up buying a new jacket and a new pair of trousers, and these are the Marmot Pre-Sip jacket and pants. I didn't actually mean to buy both Marmot. This was cheap on Amazon and it's really lightweight, and it's been sort of recommended for like 80s and stuff, so I was like, give it a punt. It was only 38 quid when I bought it. I bought a special on Amazon, and the trousers I bought later on because I realised the ones I had were ripped, so I had to replace them, and once again looked on Amazon, these were the cheapest, good reviews, so I ended up with a pair of Marmots. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I didn't know what the weather was going to be, so I wanted to take a fleece for just warmth or whatever, so I ended up taking the Bentoo fleece, which when paired with the Marmot Pre-Sip worked extremely well. A lot of the time if it was just like shower stuff I would just put this on, but there was a couple of days when it was really cold and it was raining, so this tied with this, because this is the Bentoo fleece, this is actually waterproof as well, so you put this on, then that over the top, and it was an impenetrable barrier. It really was. This sweated a little bit. I did get a little bit of sweat if I wore this on its own, but it was nothing major, nothing that any other jacket wouldn't do, and yeah, it was fine. The trousers were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Can't actually rate these enough. Actually, they I need to clean them. Actually, they're a bit mingy, but kept me dry, kept me warm. Worked really well. So the Marmot Pre-Sip jacket, trousers, and the Bentoo fleece. Next we come on to the shoes I wore. The shoes I wore were the Moab 2 from Morel. I bought these originally for the West Highland Way, and I've used them a couple of times on Dartmoor, and I had no issues with them. The moment I took them to the TGO, the waterproofing failed. And yeah, these, if the Cook set was the star of the show, these were the villain. These gave me a really nasty blister on the third day, into the fourth and into the fifth day. I've never had a blister in my life. I don't know, hiking, I just don't get them. I did with these. What happened was it was really hot, and these got soaked inside and out, and they just didn't dry out, and they were just too hot. On the days it was really hot, it was just too hot to wear these, and so my feet got really sweaty and blistered quite badly on my right foot. Luckily I was able to treat it, look after it, but it slowed me down for those days. That was the days going up the Coriac Pass and all that, and it was a lot of pain actually. So when it was really hot, my feet really sweated and didn't breathe, and the days it rained and got really wet, these didn't get water out. So, and they didn't dry out because they got a Gore-Tex liner. Yeah, they just didn't work. They split as well there. So you can see the second day. I think that's what caused it. So they were comfortable. I mean, they're comfortable to wear, but that's it. That's pretty much all it was. But they didn't breathe enough, and the Gore-Tex didn't dry out if it got wet. And the grip on it was a bit as well. It wasn't. As you can see, it's starting to go already. And the guy in the shop said they're only supposed to last 500 miles, which, for the amount of money I paid, these were nearly 150 quid when I bought them. I'm not too impressed really. I'm really not too impressed. So for the next TGO, I actually don't know which footwear I'm going to use. I'm going to have to think long and hard. I've bought some sort of Columbia trail shoes for now. I just wanted something that would dry quick and, do you know what I mean, would breathe a bit more easy in the summer. I've just bought it for now, sort of thing. But for the TGO next year, I honestly don't know what shoes I'm going to take. I don't like cloth shoes, or, you know, material shoes. I think I might even go for a lightweight leather boot. A lot of people wore trail shoes, but a lot of people had issues with their feet with trail shoes, so I don't know. But these didn't work well, and yeah, were the bane of the trip really. The other thing that didn't work that well was my power brick, whatever you want to call them. I normally have like 16,000 milliamp types, but I bought a 10,000 quick charge. This charges your phone quickly and also will charge quickly itself. I thought that would be more handy, sort of being able to get to places and charge this up quick and be on your way. This is a 10,000 milliamp. What I found was that most places will charge your stuff up overnight and that's it. You didn't have any lockers or plugs you could use yourself. You had to hand them in at reception, so it sort of defeated the point of having a quick charge. Also, I found the 10,000 amp wasn't enough power, to be honest. I didn't have enough power for my phone and my camera for more than 2 days. 3 days at the max this would last for. So I was forever trying to run around trying to get this charged, and it became an issue all the time. I had to get somewhere and charge this, so I had to hit a campsite every couple of nights to get this charged. And yeah, I did. Yeah, I've looked online and there is actually a 23,000 milliamp version of this, or 20,000. I can't remember what it is, but it's over twice as big as this. I think I'll go for that next time and just put up with the fact that it's going to be charged up overnight, so I don't need the super quick charge, and just carry enough power to last a camera, because I wanted to stay out more and you couldn't, you were tied to the campsites. So yeah, this would be the only thing I'll change again on the next TGO, was have more power or not film. That is another issue. This is another thought I'm thinking about. Actually filming the TGO was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because you think you just walk along and you film this and film that, but you had other things to think about all the time. It's like when I got to camp, it was like, right, find a pitch my tent, get my stuff sorted out, get my bed set up, get my food on, get this on, get that, and the time you've done all that, I'd forgotten to film anything because I was too preoccupied. But that's why in the video there isn't a lot of camp footage, which I wish I'd done. And actually, yeah, I wasn't too impressed with what I filmed. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. So the filming of the TGO was I found it a bit harder than I thought. I didn't have the time I needed, or I was thinking of other things more than what I should have been filming, if that made sense. The filming wasn't at the front of my mind, so I forgot about filming this, I forgot about filming at camp, I forgot about filming people. I think next year's TGO, I'm either not going to film it at all, or film it completely different. It was one of the other things I wasn't happy with, was the actual filming of the TGO. So that might have to be looked into as well, what camera I use, how I'm going to film it, if I'm going to film it. So that will be thoughts for another day. Apart from that, the actual TGO itself was amazing, absolutely amazing. Would I change anything about the trip? Yeah, next one I'm actually planning my next TGO at the moment, is to go higher. Take more time. I spent a lot of time rushing, trying to get to places, like to charge my like my battery packs and stuff. I want to not have that issue. I want to be able to take my time, be in the mountains longer, get up higher. Definitely. I didn't bag any Monroes, didn't do anything of that. That's definitely what I'm going to do next time. So yes, so overall, would I do the TGO again? Yes, most definitely. I mean, in fact, like I said, I'm planning the route already for where I'm going to start next year if I get in. If I don't get in next year, Cape Wrath. It's as simple as that. If I don't do the TGO, I'll be doing the Cape Wrath Trail. And so yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Yeah, I didn't review everything I took to the TGO because I didn't feel it was really necessary. Clothes are clothes, socks are socks, and whatever. I just thought I'd go over the main bits of that worked really well and those that didn't. So there you go. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again.